Hello, everyone. Just sitting down here last night in the hangout. Towards the end of the hangout, I was bored and I was making Jesus juice and cleaning my desk off. And then came across this one that I had put off to the side. This is another um, older mini from Savage Forge Minis. Dennis Zarnowski sculpted it. So I laid some airbrush down on it last night. So I laid down my basic. Come on, let me see if I can get this to focus. There it is. Well, I laid down the basic skin tones on them, and now I'm going to go in and add some different colors and stuff. So first off, I'm going to do his teeth. I've got this Floyd Flesh, but it's got a little bit too much of a yellow to it. So let me see if I got another bone color over here, which I probably do. I don't want it too white, so I'll go maybe with a Screaming Skull. What's this one? Is that a Screaming Skull also? No. All right, so I'm gonna go with some Screaming Skull. This stuff right here for the teeth, maybe even for the eyes. This is, I don't know if you can see the difference. This one here has got a little bit more brown in it. This is more towards the ivory part. This, I was going to use this, but as you can see, that's too light, too white. It's an off-white from Vallejo. It's the off-white. God darn it. This camera's really pissing me off. Let me raise that up just a little bit. It's the off-white. So, but you can see the difference right there. So I want to go with this right here. So let me see if I can position this camera a little different. Let's go like right there. There we go. My lights acting up here. Let's see. Come on. I got one bulb that works when it feels like it. And I think the ballast is starting to go on these things. Anyway, there we go. So I'm gonna go ahead and do a little work on this guy today. Yeah, there he is. He's pretty cool. So, like I said, I'm going to use the Screaming Skull. I got my little wet palette off to over there. So let's get some of this on the palette. Use a number 2 brush. Is that a number 2? Yeah. Get a little bit on the wet palette there. A little flow aid. Put that off to the side, right about there. I'll dip my brush in the flow aid and just come in there and do that. There we go. That'll thin it down to where I want it. Where's my glasses? Here we go. All right, so I'll come in and get those teeth blocked in. Like so. I'm not going to go all the way down to the bottom of them. You know what? Maybe I will. Just like that. There we go. I'm debating whether I'm going to use any oils on this guy. I don't think so. I think he looks pretty good without him. Hey, Jerry. What's happening, brother? So, back in here to my paint. Pull them. Move them around a little bit. Like that. Let me get a smaller brush. This is a 0, but it's got a nice wedge to it. Thanks, Jerry. So what I'm going to do, he's got a little tooth right here. Just very carefully with the point, get that in there. Get that tooth right there. And just build up the color on him. This damn thing. I'm going to end up putting an ink wash over it just to, dirty them up, add a little yellow stain to them. And there's some tartar towards the bottom. But yeah, the skin tones and this was all airbrushed. I did that last night. We were sitting around. It was about 2 in the morning, 1:30, 2 in the morning. So there we go. Get those teeth in there. A little bit more paint. Hey, Josh, Plastic Monkey, what's up? So, all right. So I got the basic. I'm going to probably go in and highlight it, like the tips of them. But I won't do that until afterwards, after I add the little yellow wash on them. And that'll be done with inks. I think I got some Vallejo inks, or I could use the Liquitex. So again, all I'm doing is, I missed a tooth. You missed the tooth. Right there. There was a tooth right there, and there's a tooth right here. Just making sure I got all his toofuses. I think I got them. All right, now I'm going to go in and do the basic color of the eye. So just that's not going to stay that color. There's going to be reds, blacks, yellows in there. But I want to establish the eyeball. Just like that. Right in there, and just bring it across. All righty then. Again, this is a broken toed wedge flathead series MK2. This is an older one. All right, I got that established now. I'm going to let this dry. Making sure I don't have any brush strokes in there, because that'll ruin it. So there's his eyeballs. Come in here. Ice Queen, how you doing, Sue? So we'll get this just like that. Hey, Jeff. So again, that's just as basic. Now I'm going to hit this with a blow dryer. Give me a second. You're going to hear the blow dryer in a second here. Now, normally, like for this, because I'm going to use a lot of different inks and I don't want to screw this up. So what I'm going to do is hit it real quick with a matte coat, just to lock that in. So if I make any mistakes, I can come in with a pointed Q-tip and then clean it all off. So give me a second. I'm going to move to the other room real quick and shoot this real fast. I used Krylon UV Matte Clear. So let me hit this real quick with this. And there it is. Yeah, I got a spray booth in the other room. I don't like spraying it in here. So just hit that with a matte coat. So give me a second here. Knock that down real quick. All right. Dry to the touch. So before I do anything, as far as like add this inks, where's my magenta? That's deep violet. That's the muted pink. Let's go with some muted pink and a little red just in case. So I got Pyrrole red. That's ink. This one here is a muted pink. These are the transparents. This is not. So I'm going to have to really, really thin this down. So before I do that, give me a second here. This is black primer in there, Steino Res. So I want them looking directly at you, of course. I don't want them looking like Marty Feldman. I'll put a little drop of that. Right there. I don't need a lot. Clean the tip off. All right. So what am I going to do here? So I think I'm going to put like a little dot right there. Come over here. Now turn them upside down. Right about there. Yeah, that's about right. And I'm trying to make sure that when I'm looking at him, he's looking at me. See? Make that just a little bit bigger. There we go. Make sure the other one's about the same size. All right, got that. Chopper. Chopper says, I actually wish someone would make a Marty Feldman figure, maybe his Hunchback character. That would be cool. That would be cool. So, all right. That's already dry because I didn't use. Whoop, let me get this out. That's already dry because I didn't use a lot on there. So what I want to do is get a little bit of this yellow azo ink, just a little bit. I don't need a lot. That's a drop. Get my, what would I do with my brush? That's not the one I'm looking for. Here it is. So I'll get my brush, I'll dip it in there, I'll take most of it off. And just layer it in, build it up. Like so. Just like that. I'm on this side, do the same thing. And again, I don't want the whole eyeball covered in it. I want some of that off-white to show. It don't matter if I go over the black a little bit with it because it doesn't really, you don't really see it on the black. All right. Get a little bit more in here. Like right in the corner there. Just like that. Sue says, thank you, Josh, but the only time I've used the airbrush was on horse's legs on my black coach. Yeah, some people, Ice Queen, I'm mostly an airbrush guy, but I've been using brushes a lot the last, I don't know, year or so, to try to get better at them. Like this guy here, all of this skin tone, other than the teeth and what you just saw me do with the eyes, all of this was done with an airbrush. But if you're doing figures, I don't know, 28 mil, you can do them with an airbrush, but it's easier, I guess, if you're used to doing it with a brush. It's a lot more easier to do it with a brush. All right, I got the yellow in there. Now I'm going to come in with a little bit of this muted pink. I'm also going to put some of that like right here on his lips in certain spots. So let's get the lips done first. I might have to lighten that up just a little bit more so you can get a nice, like right inside there. Give it more of that fleshy look inside, like the inside of his mouth. You know, where the skin, the inner part of his skin would look. You want that to be a little bit more fleshy looking. And then I'll add, once that dries, just a hint of yellow to it. The same thing with his nose. Like I'll take some of this yellow and then right here on his nose, I'll add a little bit of that in there. Just like that. And then I'll come in with some of that red or that magenta. And take a little bit of that, and right here on this little fold that he's got, I take a little bit of that magenta, bring it down so it looks like it's a piece of skin there, like a flap. And just work that. I use everything from Citadel to Vallejo to P3, AK Next Gen, Pro Acryl. I don't use Tamiya figures, but yeah, I use Golden High Flow, mostly Vallejo, Pro Acryl, and Citadel. That's mostly what I use. Because it's there and I've got a lot of it. This is some of what I have. I mean, it's not, I got rid of a lot of it. I've got there, down there, over there on the bottom. There's a bunch of paints down under here. There's more there. That cabinet right there, there's a lot of paints. And in that room is where I keep a lot of it. In that room there. So yeah, I like the Citadel. I like the pigmentation of it. The problem, what I don't like about Citadel is these damn pots. But I've got a lot of it transferred into these dropper bottles. But those pots are just, yeah, they're a pain. All right, so I want to add a little bit more color to that, to his nostrils. It doesn't, they're not jumping out at me. So I'm going to take, on my wet palette, again, I have the flayed flesh on there. So I'm going to take a little bit of that. Take most of it off the brush. And then, like, what's up? Right here on his nostrils. I'm just going to add a little bit of that. And it's real thin. It's almost like a glaze. I'll take my finger and I'll tap. So right there on his nostril. I'll come up here and just put a little bit on that fold of his eye there. Do the same thing on the other end. Now, I know it looks stark, but you'll see with the pots, they suck, Jerry. They suck. So all I'm doing is I'm adding a little right here on the corner there. Yeah. Like right here. I don't want it too white because I'm gonna be adding this magenta on top of that. So I'll come in here and then right here, the same thing. I'll lighten that up just a scotch. And then right up in here. There's some real nice detail in that lip. So what I'm doing is I'm just very gently dragging the brush over that detail. And then I'll add a little yellow to that. And then once that dries, I'll seal it. I'll add a little magenta on top of that. All right, so there's that. And again, I'll go back to this. There's a little drop of it. I don't need a lot. This bottle's probably lasted me a few years because I don't use it a lot. Normally I cut it. I'll cut it with glazing fluid or so I'll come in and just a little bit. I don't want it everywhere. I just want a little bit. It's like that. And the same thing over that eye, like right there. Now you see what it did there? If I can get it to focus. Now that'll all be blended out when I start adding shades and stuff here. So now I'll walk that up. There it is. Now I'll go with this one, which is the cadmium light hue, which is a yellow. I love this stuff. Add that over here. Now this you got to be careful with because you can get away from it. I'll take a little bit of that, take most of it off. And just certain spots like highlights. Right there. So that brings that out a little bit more. Enhances that green. Oop. Damn it. I should have put a pin in it and I didn't do it. Before I start working on his armor here, I'll do that. This is an older bust, resin casted bust by Savage Forge Minis. Dennis Zarnowski, German brother. He hooked it. He sculpted it and casted it. I'll work that way. Now I'll take a dry flat and just make sure that I feather it all in. See? I prefer Sue, I prefer fantasy. I prefer stuff like this, sci-fi, anything macabre. I like painting female figures, but I like painting the bad girls. You know, more or less like the she demons and witches and Lilith type things. That's what I like painting. I get that influence comes from my days of I mean, I'm a big fan of Frazetta, so I like his kind of work. And ever since I was a kid, that's what I gravitated towards, more of that. All right, so what I'm doing with this ink is I'm just going over some of the highlights, like here. And you notice that when I take I dip my brush in there, I roll it and I take most of it off. So I don't want a lot of it on there. This stuff can get away from you if you're not careful. And right now, you notice I'm not cutting it with anything because I don't want, at this point, I don't need to, but Normally, I'll use Vallejo glazing medium or matte medium. Liquitex matte medium. So now that what that did was it just brightened that up. I'll clean that off. And now I got some blue, some phthalo blue. I'm sorry, phthalo green, lime green. Where's my other one? That's Prussian. I want my blue. My phthalo blue. Where did I pull it out? No, there it is, just right there. What's the other one? Where's the other one? That's transparent burnt umber. I'm going to need that. Transparent burnt umber. Transparent burnt sienna. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of inks on this. So let's go. I'm going to go with raw umber first. It's been a while since I opened this one, so it's kind of, there we go. I don't want a lot. I'll put that on my desk there. Now I'll cut it. Some glazing medium. And for that, all I do is on the side. I don't put it right on. I'll put a couple of drops off to the side. Take my brush. I dip my brush in there. Okay, there we go. Now for that, I want that like right here in those deep spots. Notice there is no black on this guy other than his pupil. You should never, shadows, you should never use, you can do what you want, but you should never use black as a shadow. Makes everything look unnatural. So all I'm doing is I'm darkening up the bottom of his lip. And then right in here, the folds. I'll come in here. Just very gently add some of that in there. Just like that. I don't want a lot of this in there. Take a brush. Just make sure that it's nicely evened out. So have I, bro. So have I. So have I. I'll take some of this burnt sienna. I'm not even going to bother to cut that. And then right here. Just add it just a little bit. Give it more of a little red hue up here. Like so. You know what? Let me do a little bit of that. There we go. That's better. Yeah, this is I like doing these kind of skin tones too, the reptile skin tones, because you can do just about anything with them. Can be any color you want, especially if it's science fiction one. You know, that's what I love about science fiction. Doesn't oh, it doesn't look like that in real life. Really? Okay. Show me what a fairy looks like, or a goblin, or this guy for that matter. All right, so that added a little bit more of a red hue there. You see it right in the certain spots. I'll come down here by his triple chin here and just add a little bit of that in there like that. And then over on this end. And then just gently drag it across so I can get inside all those nice little folds that are in there. And kind of freckle them out. Right there. All right. Take this, adjust where I don't want it. Just move it. That's just there's nothing on it. It's just dry. Basically using it like an eraser. So wherever I didn't want that little wash I made there, I'll just scoop it right off. I'll come in with this yellow. Too much yellow. Like that. Now I'll get the teeth. Okay. Back to this. Well, before I do that, let me dry that. And I gotta mute that down just a scotch. Just a little bit. Yeah, see that glazing. Reason that glazing fluid is nice, but it takes a while to dry, and that's what I can still feel a little tackiness on it. So I'm gonna have to give that a little bit to dry. But you can see, while that's drying, I'm gonna do a lot more work right here in this area, right in here. There'll be a lot more work done, like right up in here, and then back up in here. But for now, I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go to the eyes. So I'm gonna take that muted color. A little water. And just lay that down. Like right there. So what I'm doing is I'm giving his eyes that bloodshotty, veiny look to it. Kind of reminds me of Akbar from Star Wars. It's a trap. So I'm going to pull that red towards the corners more. Like right there in the corner. I'll drop a little bit of that. Right there. Come over to this side. Right there in that corner. And the same thing down here. All right. I'm going to take, where's it at? Yep. This one. You know what? I'm going to take some very bright yellow. I know I was going to use a yellow paint. But let me see if I can get away with using the inks. So take a little bit of this. Right there. I'm using it as a highlight right around the pupil. I don't know if I can see it, but I don't know if it's translating on the video. All right. Take a little bit of this again. I got to put a little light source in his eye now. So for that, the Vallejo Off-White. A little squirt there. A little water. Mix it here. And a little bit on the tip. Where's the light going to come from? Let's go here, here, and right there. I don't know if you can see that. There. There. I got to keep checking it. So there's his eyeballs for now. Now I'll go in and add another wash in here to tone, more of that on the outside here, very light. I'll take some yellow and I'll mix a little bit of white in there. And then right in this area here, I'll lighten that up. And then right in this area, right behind the iris, I'll lighten that up. But I want to get back to his nostrils here. So I want those to be like he's got a red nose. All right, now we're going to go back down to the lips again. And right over right where I highlighted, I'll add that magenta. Just like that. I can't forget the top. Around here, the fold. Get right inside the inner mouth. Turn them upside down and get the top lip. Now, I don't want the whole thing. I just want the inner part's going to be the redder part. Now, you notice I haven't used the red yet because I don't think I need it. This muted pink is doing pretty good. I'll come over here. Where he's got those folds. Again, certain spots. And then add a little bit up here. Not a lot. You notice I only dipped the brush in there. And I'm using what's left on the brush to do everything else. There's plenty on that brush of that ink to go everywhere else. So there he is so far. Yeah, I'll be there in a minute. So I am going to put this guy down for a while, go upstairs, play with the puppy, hang out with Mama, or maybe come back and finish him off. I mean, he's almost done for the most part. But again, this was a figure I got from Dennis Zarnowski, Savage Forge Minis, many years ago. Let me put it up here. I don't know what this camera. I think it's time to invest in new cameras. I've had these for many, many years. So this was a Savage Forge Minis kit. It's a nice little bust. Knock 2 the Bounty Hunter, it's called. Knock 2 the Bounty Hunter. But come on, you. If I can get this to... Yeah, I can't get a good angle on him. Sorry, guys. But if I can get this to... There he is. So there it is for now. Thanks, brother. Thank you, Plastic Monkey. Pablo, thank you. Everybody, thank you for watching. I appreciate you. You know, if this is if you enjoy watching this, please like and subscribe. You know, on my YouTube channel. We also have the Styrene Syndicate Facebook group and Red Dragon Models Facebook group. If you want to come and hang out with us, we do hangouts every Friday night, 7:30 Central Standard Time, and they can run for whenever. But yeah, we're going to be doing. We got a couple more things to do. We got some busts that we're going to do again. We got a Halloween build coming up in the middle of second week of September, right after Labor Day. So stay tuned for that. But you guys stay safe, stay healthy. Cheers, everybody. Have a great weekend. Gilbert saying peace. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.